Heroic Echoic, for the size of the game that it is, for the fact this is the entire game and I'm holding it in one hand, is far too complicated for its own good. And there's a couple of reasons for that, and there's lots of lovely heroes in here, but the problem is every single hero has its own symbol. And then for each of the echoics, some of the echoics have 5 symbols, some have 4, there's a couple here that have 3, which means at any one time you're potentially not going to have the symbols for the characters. And that's a bit of a problem, because it can lead to you actually having to wait until you pick up the cards, and it takes too long to get going. You want to have almost like a predefined, you want to be handing people out kind of literally 10 cards to begin with, so that they've got a hand that they can start bidding on these heroes as quickly as possible, because it becomes snappy. As soon as a game that is this simple, which the rules are only like 2 sides of a simple pamphlet, and as soon as it starts to get into kind of like maybe the 4 or 5 minute mark and nobody's done the main part of the game, which is bidding, then you've got a little bit of a problem here. And that's not to say that there's not an awful lot of heart and not an awful lot of good intentions. There is, but it needs to be streamlined a bit. There needs to be as many heroes, but there needs to be fewer symbols, and these fewer symbols can then be put on the cards, and that would mean you could start getting into the bidding, because there will be points where you will sit through maybe 2 or 3 rounds where somebody's laying a hero to bid, and you just simply, first of all, might be sitting with a huge chunk of cards, and because the symbols on here are a bit mixed and matched, it's not very, very simple from a quick browsing point of view to see if you've actually got the symbols that are needed. And that leads to complication. And also on the other side of it, it meant that the younger players in the group found it more difficult to play, because often they were led to a level of frustration because they were looking for patterns in the symbols to see if it was easy to spot the symbols, and they couldn't spot the patterns in the symbols, so they didn't always see the symbols, so sometimes they missed out on bidding for the heroes, which is disappointing. So this is a game that needs scaled back, and I mean this in the kindest way possible. And if it's scaled back, and if it was simplified, and it was popping, and it was snappier, I expect playing a game like Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born, or Destiny, or something like that, with slightly more moving components, to be taking kind of half an hour to play. I didn't expect this to kind of drag on a bit, and when it comes down to the bit where it is dragging on because people can't play a card because they don't have the opportunity to play a card, I think then you've got kind of like a slight problem, which is a shame. So that's Heroic Echoic. I can see where it can be fun, and I know some people would enjoy it, but for me it's just a little bit too complicated for what it's trying to be. And with half the deck of cards, maybe with half as many symbols, it could be something rather decent, and something rather different, and something rather special. So it's a shame, but it's there. It's published, it's out there, it's not been kickstarted or anything like that. You can buy it today, and it's Heroic Echoic from Happy Clash Games. My name's Richard. This is We're Not Wizards. Thank you for watching.